Welcome everyone to the Game Plan webinar. Tonight is going to be an awesome night, and I am so pumped for everything that Dr. Dave has planned for you guys. I know there was a study once shown that 92% of people fail to achieve their New Year's resolutions. Why? Because they didn't have a plan. So tonight, you guys are part of that 8% that is getting that plan to achieve your dreams, whether it's a dream of weight loss or whether it's a dream of buying your dream home or going on a vacation, whatever it is. Dr. Dave has the right stuff for you tonight. I got to peek at his notes just a little bit, and man, you're going to want to have your pen, your paper, you're ready, maybe even your notes app you're on your phone. That's how I like to take notes. But I want to know, before we jump into the studio with Dr. Dave, let me know in the comments where you guys are joining from. I want to know right now, where are you guys joining from? We are here in Michigan, and it is cold, let me tell you. It is definitely chilly. I'm a Southern girl, so I'm not used to this weather. I'm not used to what it looks like. But whenever it's snowy outside, you got to have a plan. Let me know if you're wherever you're joining from, if you have gotten snow this year, whatever it looks like. Because one thing I've found is that you got to have a plan in order to get to work in the morning. If you got snow in your yard, you got to shovel your driveway. You got to make sure that everything is taken off of, got to put salt there or you're going to slip and fall. You got to have a plan. I have some neighbors that are very good at planning that. You got to have a plan for the little things, and you also got to have a plan for the big things. Oh, I see we have Washington. Welcome, Kristen Durr. Let me know also in the chat, not only where you're joining from, but let me know, Southfield, Michigan, what you are wanting a plan for in 2025. One of the things I want to plan for, I'm getting ready to take some notes, is I want to learn how to cook. That's one of my goals for 2025. Whatever it is, Dr. Dave has the right things for you. And we're going to go in the studio just in a moment. But come on and tell me where you are coming in from, where you're joining from. I find it interesting that there are so many people who will write down their goals and they will just throw them in their desk drawer and they won't do anything with them. You got to have consistent action in order to have your plans come to fruition. And one thing I've heard is that if you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you're going to plan to fail. So you got to have that game plan. Tonight, we're going to get that game plan with Dr. Dave. He has helped thousands and thousands of people, just like you, just like me, reach their game plan and achieve their goals in their life. Recently, I heard him tell a story of this man that came up to him and was like 12 years ago. You spoke to me. You gave me the game plan, the resources. Troy, Michigan. Hi, Susan. You gave me the resources to be able to be where I am at today. They're now a successful business owner, and it's all because of the teachings that Dr. Dave gave them. So you guys are the 8% tonight getting that game plan. And so we're about to go into the studio audience, but come on, let me know where you're joining from. Let me know what you're here to get a game plan for. Tonight is going to be exciting. You are not going to want to miss a single bit of it. You're going to want to stay to the end. I hear he might have something special for those who stay towards the end. Well, okay, Louisville, Kentucky, welcome, Lindsay. And Kentucky, welcome, everyone. Well, the time has come. Texas, 25 miles north of San Antonio. Well, welcome everyone. Now is the time to welcome Dr. Dave Martin. He is our #1 Christian success coach, international best-selling author, and I hear he has a new book coming out, so you better be on the lookout for that. And he's helped thousands and thousands of people, just like you, just like me, be able to achieve their dreams and goals. He's also your best friend. So I want you to welcome our success coach, Dr. Dave Martin.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight. It's going to be a great night, and I'm so glad that you're with us. So make sure if you maybe caught this on Facebook, share this. Let someone else know. If you're watching on YouTube, you can share that as well. And we'd love to get some other people join us. We had some technical difficulties in how we normally would do the webinar, and so we quickly shifted, and so we made it available this way through Facebook and YouTube. So it gives you an opportunity to share it with someone else and invite them to be a part of it as well. So thank you for joining us in Washington, Michigan, Kentucky, Texas. As you're getting on, let us know where you're at, where you're joining us from. Love to say hello to you. Hey, Gamma, is that how you say that? Just north of San Antonio. Is that near New Braunfels? New Braunfels, is that going that way? I think it is. But good to have everyone on. Listen, nothing in life is done well Nothing in life that's done well will be accomplished without a plan. And so, as you're joining us tonight, and we're getting ready to go through the plan, how to develop a plan, the importance of a plan. That's what we're going to talk about first, because well, I'm a Christ follower. I'm a believer, and so a lot of the principles I use, even if I'm in a setting where I can't say it's in the Bible, that's where I get them from. But what I love about doing my own webinars, I can say whatever I want, and so I believe that the importance of a plan. The Bible tells us to commit our plans to God, and He will help us to succeed. So I can't think of any better business partner in accomplishing my goals than having God on my side. But here's the thing: if I don't have a plan, I don't have anything to commit to Him. And you heard Caitlin just a minute ago talk about the percentage of people who don't have a plan. Well, you're not going to be in that percentage. You're going to be in the percentage of people who do have a plan, and I'm going to talk to you about how to do that. So we're going to give you some wisdom keys. Here's the thing I find in the Bible is a collection of champions who planned their success ahead of time. They got prepared. They planned. In Proverbs it says, "Where there is no vision, people perish." So we know the importance of a plan. Habakkuk says to write the vision, make it plain. For several years, maybe we connected. Maybe you saw me at one of the Get Motivated seminars. It's the largest business seminar in America, and I was on tour there with the guys from Shark Tank. Well, one of the guys, Damon John, used to always talk about how he wrote his plans out when he started one of his companies called FUBU. Some of y'all might remember FUBU. Hey, Carl, Calgary, Canada. I know you guys are cold up there. But he would write down his vision. He'd write it down. And he made this statement. He said, when you write down your goals, you dramatically increase the likelihood of accomplishing them if you just write them down, which is pretty good. I said, that's in the Bible. And Damon said, oh, that's not in the Bible. I said, sure, everything you teach is in the Bible. The greatest success principles that were all invented in the Bible. And so I think it's important that you write it down, but then not just write down the plan, not just write down the goal, but write down the plan of how you're going to accomplish it, right? So here we are wrapping up the end of 2024. Well, a year from now, when we get to the end of 2025, are you going to look back and say, hey, I accomplished some things. I did some things different than I did last year, and I'm well on the way. That's what I want to help you. I want to help you be in a place, and as a coach, that's what I do. I help people get from where they are to where they want to be. And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And so at the end of 2025, I want you to be able to say, man, I'm so glad that I jumped on the game plan webinar. I'm so glad I developed a plan that would help me accomplish my goals. Like I said, even Jesus was a planner. People said, well, he said, don't worry about tomorrow. Right, he did. He said, don't worry about tomorrow. He didn't say don't plan tomorrow. He said, just don't worry about it. I think if you have a plan, you'll worry a whole lot less. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But Solomon had a plan. You can read that in the Bible. There's a plan for building the temple. Pretty detailed plan, too. You got to put some details to your plan. Noah had a plan for building the ark. Moses had a plan for the tabernacle. I mean, as I travel around the world, I see this trend that I think is really interesting. And I have an opportunity to talk to a lot of people. And I'm always interested in the way people look at life. In different countries, people look at things differently. And I observed some common patterns, though, no matter where we are. One thing I noticed is people take a lot of time to plan weddings, but they take little time to plan their marriage, right? You see what I'm saying? We take a lot of time to plan our vacation. I lived in Orlando for years. I'd see people come to Disney, and boy, they had a plan. They had reservations, where they were going to go, what time they were going to ride this ride. I'd see some moms with some big old list of all the plans. Now, they planned their vacation, but have they planned their life, a life vision? Have they? So there's so much we can look at, and this doesn't describe everybody, but it's a tendency of a whole lot of people to not really plan the most important things or the bigger things in life. So I think about this all the time. I truly think it really comes back to planning. Planning is critical if you want to live a fulfilled life. So as we go into a brand new year, do you want 2025 to be your best year yet? Do you want to make the rest of your life the best of your life? Well, it starts with 2025. We're right there. It's just ahead of us. So I think if you're gonna look back at the end of the year, look over your life and say, "Man, I've accomplished the things that I was put on the earth to accomplish," then you're gonna have to have a plan. I love this. Think about this. Planning brings the future into the present so that you can do something about it right now. Okay, planning brings the future. Here's where I'm going. I'm gonna bring that to today, and I'm gonna plan it out. You're gonna live in the future, so it might as well be the future you plan. And so planning is a way to help control the future. If you plan to live past dinner tonight, you're gonna need this information. If you plan to make it to next year, you're gonna need this information. When you go back and look at your life, and how will you manage? What did you do significant with your life? I think if you're going to do something significant, you're going to have a plan. And some of you thought about these milestones. Others, maybe you haven't. Maybe some of you have worried about these milestones. Maybe a little concern, like, what happens when my kids go off to college? What am I going to do? What happens when this happens? What am I going to do? I love what Winston Churchill said. I love to study great achievers. I love biographies and that kind of thing. And Winston Churchill, the great Prime Minister of England, of Great Britain, he said this. He said, "Let your advanced worrying become advanced thinking and planning." Let your advanced worrying. How many worry about, I'm just worried about next year. I'm just worried about how this is going to happen. I'm just worried about what's going to happen with my job. I'm just worried about, and we worry about things in the future. We're worrying in advance. God gave every one of us an imagination. And worry is just bad use of your imagination. Worry is bad use of your imagination, right? Because what do? All you do when you worry is imagine what could go wrong. Think if you use that exact same energy and used your imagination to picture what could go right. Wow, that might make a little bit of a difference. If I begin to get a picture of of the best things that could happen next year. So I believe that I believe Winston Churchill knew what he was talking about. I mean, goodness, he was a master planner. If you've ever read his books or watched any of the movies about him, history honors him for being a master planner. So I think you and I need to be master planners. I think that I'm working on a building right now that we're building, and boy, I've been looking at a lot of plans, the architectural plans, and I had meetings today about plans, and boy, there's a lot of detail in the plan. But the more detailed the plan is, we could go in there and go, well, what do you think? We put a wall here, we put a wall there. We'll just figure out where to go with the wall, and it'll work out. Or, I mean, these details, they're explaining numbers to me on cabinets. B38D. And I'm like, what does that mean? Bottom, 38 inches, drawers. I'm like, wow, that detail of every inch of the building. But it's going to be successful. Why? Because we have a detailed plan. If you don't have a plan, life just happens to us. Life happens around us. But if we can put planning into the picture, it'll make all the difference in the world. Now, I know a lot of times people say, well, why don't we just pray about it? Let's just pray. It'll all work out. And praying is important. I believe in prayer, but I also believe in having a plan. And I don't think prayer can replace a plan. Just like I don't think a plan can replace prayer. I think we need both. I think what did I say? Commit your plans to the Lord. That means take your plan. You had planning, and now you're praying. You're committing it to God. And when you do that, He will help you to succeed. So sometimes people tell me they're praying, and that's about all that they're doing. So let me give you 7 things about planning here. I'm going to try to get to 7 of them. We'll see. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm going to keep you till about 8 o'clock. Give me about an hour, and I think we'll be in a real good position. But I was thinking about growing up. Before we had cell phones and Apple Maps and all those kind of things that you can do nowadays. We used to call AAA, and get a triptych. Anybody remember those? Uh, let me know if you've ever used a triptych. What you do is you call AAA and say, I'm coming from Detroit and I want to go to Orlando, and they would create a map for you, and it would be several. It'd be a little booklet. Then you'd turn the pages, and it would lead you along the way, and it would tell you maybe some interesting places to stop, and you could put in what kind of restaurants you like. It'd give you some of those or gas stations, and it'd kind of walk you along the whole trip, page after page, till you got to where you were going. Anybody ever use a triptych? Any old people on here like me? Yeah, Terry, thank you. Yeah, well, now we got the phone, and it kind of does all that for us. But I believe that if we get a plan, we could be a trip master, right? We could be the master. And so, first of all, the first thing I want you to know, and I've tried to show that to you, and I think I have, talking about Solomon, talking about Moses, talking about Noah. Planning is a scriptural thing to do. It's the scriptural thing to do. Darlene, you remember it as well. Here's what Jeremiah 29, verse 11 says, for I know the plans I have for you. Now, God obviously was a planner. He created us in his image, so he created us to be planners, and his plans for you were good. I don't know about you. When you make a plan, you probably make it for good. You probably make it hoping it'll work out. Plans to prosper you and plans to give you hope and a future. I love that. God has plans for you. He makes plans. God makes plans. I think we should make plans. And so there's a story that I love in the Bible. It's in Genesis 41, and it's about the life of Joseph. Maybe you've read the story, you heard the story, and if not, I'll encourage you to go read it sometime. It's in Genesis. That's the first book in the Bible, and it's in chapter 41. Joseph had been brought out of prison. He was in prison. It's quite a story of God's favor on his life, but he ends up in prison, and this guy Pharaoh is the king of Egypt, has a dream, and so Joseph can interpret dreams, so they take him to Pharaoh to help him interpret the dream. And I don't know, the story is pretty. I mean, there's favoritism, there's boasting, there's jealousy, there's betrayal, there's lying, there's prison, there's dreams, there's redemption, there's forgiveness. I mean, the Bible has some great stories. I mean, you can go on Netflix and not find near as good a stuff as you'll find in the Bible. But just before the passage here, we read Pharaoh had two dreams on the same night. He had one about skinny cows and fat cows, and one about skinny ears of corn and fat ears of corn. And he didn't understand, and none of the astrologers, no one else could interpret it. And then Joseph shows up, and he interprets the dream, and he interprets. Here's what it means: there's going to be a famine in the land, and as soon as he interprets what the dream means, he immediately goes into a plan, and he lays out an entire plan of how they're going to handle the problem. So we see there's a problem. There's going to be a famine. The solution is we're going to have food stored away, so when the famine comes, we won't be affected because we'll already be prepared. And he lays out the plan. Problem, solution, here's the plan. And that's what we see here. You can go on to read the whole thing of how the plan worked, but I just want you to see that having a plan is a God thing. It's an important thing. Second thing I want you to realize is planning will put you in a better position. Planning will put you in a better position, because when you have a plan in place, that's what happened here. The nation of Israel, they would have experienced quite a tragedy if they weren't prepared for those 7 years of famine. If they didn't know it was coming, then all of a sudden there's a famine, and they had no plan to prepare, to have some stuff put away. A savings account really is what I'm talking about there. And in your own life, planning, listen, will put you in a much better position. If you go into 2025 and you begin the year with a plan, you're going to be in a much better position than if you just said, well, let's just go see what happens next year, and we'll just kind of, whatever happens, happens. Because whenever you do have a plan, I'm sure you've made a plan for something. Maybe if you just planned dinner, you probably plan for it to go well. Every plan you make, you plan to succeed. No one plans to fail. So it shouldn't be a surprise that eventually, just by having a plan, eventually that will lead you to better success and really help you to achieve a better position in the marketplace with your brand. If you're building a brand or a product or whatever, any of your goals will have a much more greater chance of success with a proper plan. CEOs of companies. I got a friend who's a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Every day he makes a plan. He said, I take an hour a day to plan the other 23. 1 hour a day, and he plans the other 23. He said, I find the other 23 go much better than if I just woke up, got out of bed, and started doing stuff. If I take the time to plan, the plan works. It puts you in a better position. Lee Iacocca, used to be the head of Chrysler, which is based here in Detroit, where we are. He said one of his greatest mentors insisted that any ideas that he had would be written out in detail on paper before he would even consider them. I had a mentor like that too. I'm like, hey, I got an idea. What if we did this and this? And I'd start laying all this out. And he goes, those are great, but I'm not even going to think about them until you write it down and give me a plan. Because unless it's written down, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. So when you write stuff down, when you can get carried away in a conversation. I know people like that. They can come up with all kind of stuff, but if you never take time to map it out, when you're required to write down a plan in detail on paper, all of a sudden facts arise that you didn't see before. I never noticed that before. Or a truth becomes much easier to see. Problem areas emerge. Oh, I can see how that would be a problem if I did it that way. Maybe we need to move that and do this one first. Weaknesses become more obvious. Anything cloudy becomes more clear. Questions get answered. And then when you have a clarified plan, now you've adjusted all that. Now, man, you are positioned to succeed. So sometimes we need to think, we need to get ourselves all together. We think we got to get ourselves all together, and then we position ourselves correctly first, and then we can make a plan. But that's really not how it works. I love this quote. A good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. A good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. So, number 2, planning puts you in a better position. Third thing I want you to understand, planning is essential. We heard that a lot a few years ago. This is essential. That's essential. Planning is essential if you're going to succeed. If 2025 is going to be a good year for you, making a plan will cause you to act rather than to react. Planning makes us effective. The Egyptians, they could have said, oh no, there's a famine. Oh no, this is going to be horrible. It's going to be such a mess. I mean, they could have said that. They could have sat around, talked about how bad it's going to be. That famine comes it's going to be horrible, and never do anything to prepare. How many times has that happened to you? I mean, you're getting older. One day you got to retire, but you have no plans. You have no provision, have no insurance, have nothing for the future. Planning is involved in everything we do. My parents set me down the other day, and they were telling me how they had everything planned. If anything happens to us, here's the plan. They gave me a sheet of paper that's got all the people I need to call, who I need to call, and then they got this account and that account, and this needs to happen and that needs to happen. Then they gave me all their funeral plans. They already got their whole funeral planned. They've even picked out they got their graves, they got their caskets, they got their heads. They've already paid for all of it. It's done. My son, he's 18 years old. He's like, Dad, that's weird. They already picked out their caskets. He goes, what did they go lay in them and try them out, see what was most comfortable? They're planners. They plan ahead, and we're much better. We're much better when we have a plan. It's going to make it a whole lot easier on me, I tell you that. But number four. Has anybody else ever planned? Anybody else got your funeral planned? Anybody else ever have you bought your? I bought my mother-in-law a cemetery plot. I got her a cemetery plot for Christmas a couple years ago. My mother-in-law. I didn't get her anything last year, though, for Christmas. She was mad, too. She goes, you didn't give me anything for Christmas this year. I'm like, you didn't even use what I bought you the year before. Number 4, planning. Come on. It makes it much easier. Come on, someone give me a laugh face. That was a good one. I need to see someone got my joke there. Number 4, Planning brings progress. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you. Thank you, Chopper. I thank you. I appreciate someone laughing at my joke. Um, TJ's planning for his future, but not that far ahead. Good, good. That's number 4. Planning brings progress. There it is. Planning brings progress. If you're planning to succeed, the plan will include some progress. It'll include some progress along the way, as well as the best pathway to achieve the goals. So always keep goals for yourself, for your organization, if you lead an organization, of the things that you want to achieve. The goals, then some planning. So it's important to write down your goals, but then you want to write down a plan. And when you do, it's always going to lead to progress. And the progress of an organization is the reason that planning is so important. Along with promoting progress, I think it's important to have some rewards. There's a lot of rewards for having a plan. Let me give you 3 of them real quick. 3 rewards for having a plan. Number 1, it eliminates stress. I hate stress. Don't like stress. Don't like. I just don't. In difficult seasons of life, there's stress, and we all know how it works. For me, I like going to sporting events. I like going to go to a Lions game or a Red Wings game or whatever team you like, and there's thousands of people going to be there. Well, I got to go to the arena. I got to find a parking spot. I got to get tickets. I know people that will just drive down there. Well, let's just go. We'll figure it out. They'll find a parking. We'll drive around, find a parking spot finally, and then they'll go up. Someone will be selling tickets. We'll find some up here. They'll go up and find someone selling tickets, and maybe it's a good seat. Maybe it's not. Maybe the tickets are real. Maybe they're not. That's too stressful for me. I want to buy my ticket ahead of time. I'm going to buy my parking pass. I'm going to find out which side of the arena my tickets are on and buy my parking pass in a parking lot on that same side. It just makes it so much less stressful for me if I know right where to drive, right where to park, right where to go in. I just like to map all that out ahead of time. And so planning ahead will give you the reward of less stress. Second thing, the quality of your preparation determines the quality of your performance. Now, when a big band goes on tour, I don't know who your favorite band may be. Maybe you're, from the 80s. Maybe you like Journey. Maybe you're from the 90s and 80s. Now you like New Edition, or not the 90s. You like maybe New Kids on the Block. I don't know who you. Maybe from the 70s, you like some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Anyway, whoever it is, when they go on tour, maybe you like Justin Bieber. Maybe you're like my son. But anyway, before they go on tour, they'll rent an arena somewhere, and for 2 or 3 weeks they'll practice. They'll practice and they'll prepare and they'll practice. And we go to the concert when they come to our city, and we're like, man, it was amazing. The lights were just at the right time, and the dancers were just at the right place, and they had it all in order. Why? Because the quality of your preparation determines the quality of your performance. What if they just got up there on the stage and said, okay, let's see, what song you guys want to do? Let's try that one where we no, let's start over. That wasn't good. Let's start over. Who else wants to sing with us today? It would be like a disaster. Could you imagine? So be prepared, okay? That's part of having a plan. Proper planning, last one here. Proper planning guarantees the completion of the project. Proper planning guarantees the completion. Heavyweight boxing champions plan weeks before they get to the fight. Months ahead, they're preparing, they're working out, they're getting ready. The great boxing champion Joe Louis, who's from here in Detroit, they know the difference. The difference between winning and losing the fight is the preparation, right? A champion, this is what Joe Louis said, a champion doesn't become a champion in the ring. He merely is recognized in the ring. His becoming happens during his daily routine. I love that. What do you do daily? What you do daily will determine what you become permanently. Planning, next one, number 5. Planning is motivational. To me, it's very motivational. I mean, just having a plan in place is extremely motivating to me. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Hey, Aaron, great to see you. Thank you guys. I love seeing you comment. Thanks. Thanks for being on. But planning is motivational. Just having a plan in place is motivating. Think about just waking up every day and not knowing what you're going to do that day. I'm just going. You don't know where you're going to go. Don't know who you're going to meet with. You don't even know why. You just I'm just going to go and see. It sounds really quite demotivating to me to just kind of see what happens. That's where a plan really comes into place. If you know your destination and you've mapped it out, it's motivating as you get closer. Even for me, I go down to Louisville. When I go to Louisville, between Detroit and Louisville, I've got some places that I know along the way. They're kind of my checkpoints when I take off. Once I get past Toledo, okay, that's good. Then I get past Dayton. Then I cross over into Kentucky, and then I got that long stretch down 71. But I get motivated. I have the plan, and I know the next place. And the closer I get to the plan, I stay motivated. I stay excited because I'm getting closer to my goal. It's the same thing when you have a plan for anything that you're trying to accomplish. Maybe you're trying to lose weight. You're at 250. You want to get to 220, and you're like, hey, at 230, I'm going to have a celebration. I'm getting closer. I'm staying motivated. What you have a plan of if I can get to, I need to see a 249. Oh no, I'm on my way, right? So, let me give you one more. We're running out of time here. Planning. Are you guys getting anything out of this? Are you getting anything? I hope you're writing some of these down. These are keys. It doesn't take a lot of keys to start your car. It just takes the right keys. So something's going to stand out to you. You go, I needed to hear that. By the way, if you stay with me in just a few minutes, I got a free gift I want to give you. Everyone who stays with me to the end, I got a free gift for you. I think you'll enjoy. But number 6, planning clarifies your decision making. Planning clarifies your decision making. It's like, following a map. If you got a map, it's much easier to select the best route when you have a plan where you're going to go, right? Life is like that. I know when I know where I'm going at, my decisions are much easier. I've got a new book on decision making that's coming out, and so it'll be out soon. I can't decide when to print it. I wrote this book probably 8 years ago, and still haven't put it out. I just for the longest time I couldn't decide what to call it. How'd you like to have a book on decision making? You can't even decide what to name it. So I named it I Can't Decide. So there you go. Good, Kristen, good. Is that Christine? Christine, with a K. I like that. My wife is Christine with a CH. Good, Steve. Yeah, clarity, it's such a key for sure. So decision, if you have a plan for what you need to accomplish on a given day, like this is what I need to get done by the end of the day. Now my decisions for that day become so much easier. I know where to spend my time because I have a written plan or a written goal to get me from where I am to where I want to be. Here's number 7. Planning, I just want you to know it is achievable. You say this seems so hard. I mean, I've tried before. Listen, we see the importance of planning. You say, but what does it work? I mean, you've been talking about it. It helps your decision making and more progress and less stress and all that. But does it work? Well, if we look back at that story of Joseph, we see that it works. I mean, there's some things he did, and we see that they prepared. And when the famine came, they had everything that they needed, and they were able to help other people that were other countries, and people came to them because they had planned, they'd prepared, and they were ready. So we all need a daily routine. That's part of a workable, achievable plan. I didn't have this in the notes earlier, but when I gave them to them to put up on the screen, so these won't be on the screen, but let me give these to you real quick. Determine your goal. First thing I want you to do, determine your goal. That what is it that you want? Where do you want to be at the end of 2025, December 31st? Where do you want to be? What's your dream? A year from now, how much money do you want in your savings account? How much do you want to weigh? How much do you want to give? Whatever it may be, we got to do something, right? We got to determine what the goal is. Imagine getting on a ocean liner, a cruise ship or something. You want to go to some island, and after you've been out to sea for about a week, you ask the captain, say, it sure seems like we should have been somewhere by now. He said, yeah, I didn't have a plan. I go, when do we plan to arrive? He said, I don't have a plan. I don't know. I just trust God. I just get out on the boat, start driving, trust God that through the winds and waves, he'll send us in the right direction and we'll find land at some point. Well, that sounds kind of ridiculous. I can tell you I wouldn't want to be on that ship for sure. And yet that is how so many people go through life. If you go into the new year without a plan, you're just going to drift through life the same way you've drifted through life to this point, and you make no plans, but yet you think you're going to reach a destination. You think you're going to get somewhere, but you don't even know where you're going. If you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Second thing, first thing you got to know is what is the goal, where is you're going, and then write down some steps to get there. I like to work backwards. Here's where I'm going. Now, how am I going to get there? So you begin with the end in mind. Here's what I want the end of 2025 to look like, and how am I going to get there? So I'm going to write down some steps along the way, and it'll take some steps to get there. So when writing it down is powerful. The written word is powerful. We know that. We have a Bible. Write it down and put it where you can see it every day. And feel free to go back. Listen, I write a lot of mine in pencil because I got to go back and I got to add steps. I got to modify. I got to adapt. I got to change things. Things happen you're not expecting. I mean, things happen you're not prepared for. And so you've got to go back and adjust to get where I'm going. I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know I was going to get that injury. I didn't know maybe you're trying to get out of debt, right? Written goals are important. I need to get out of debt. How am I going to get there? Well, I'm going to cut back on this. I'm not going to do that. And I start looking for ways to steward my money better, to manage my money better. Or there's more than one way to get out of debt. A lot of people will cut back this, cut back that, and decrease. And I think being a good steward of is very important. But I think you could also, there's another way to get out of debt, and that's to increase your way out of debt. That's come up with some new ideas, make some more money, figure out another way. God's a God of increase, not of decrease. And so I'm going to increase my way out of debt. So when I was trying to get out of debt, though, I had a little, talking about the written word, I had a little confession that I wrote, and I had it up on my refrigerator. I had it in my office, and I'd see it over and over again. I'd say it, I can't tell you how many times a day. I'm out of debt. My needs are met. There's plenty more to put in store. I owe no man anything but to love him. Yeah, I'm out of debt. My needs are met. There's plenty more to put in store. Terry is working on a comprehensive life and business plan. Yeah, for the last 3 weeks. Awesome. So good, Terry. What did Megan say? Stay focused on your plan after you make it. Yeah, distractions will come quickly into your and distract you and pull you away. So that's why writing them down is so important. It'll increase the likelihood of accomplishing it by having the steps written down. And then identify and do something every day, right? We've all heard it before. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you build a building? One brick at a time, right? So identify and do something each day that moves you closer to your goal. And it's easy to say. It is harder to do, I understand. But when I was learning to write, I have a goal to write books. And I had to learn to write every day. I have to get up a little earlier. But before I turn on the news or before I look at my phone or anything like that, I've started doing this a long time ago. Create before you consume. I create. God's a creator, so I'm going to create before I consume. People get up, they go to the bathroom. First thing in the morning, take their phone with them. First thing they touch every morning is their phone. Go get some coffee. Look at my phone. Look at Facebook. Create before you consume. You want to make 2025 a better year. Just remember that right there. If you just left this webinar tonight, our time together, with that right there, it'd be worth it. But I found something that works for me. I keep a notebook where I can write down. Still, I know phones and all that. I'm still a little old school. I like to write it down. So at the end of the day, I mentally review my day. I go back. What did I do today? What did I accomplish today? What did I learn today? I do that at the end of every day. And then at the end of each week, I take a few extra minutes and I go, what did I learn this week? What did I do this week? What did I accomplish this week? We're coming up here to the end of the year. So between Christmas and New Year's, I'll say, okay, what did I learn this year? What did I do this year? What did I accomplish this year? So taking time to review and to reflect is a very powerful thing. So planning is achievable, and it's critical. It's critical to your success. But you have to decide. You have to want to be more than you are today. It's not going to happen unless you want 2025 to be better than 2024. If you're not doing as well as how many would like to be doing better than you're doing right now in some area of your life? Maybe in your relationship, maybe in your health, maybe in your finances, in your business. If you'd like to be doing better than you're doing right now in some area of your life, say yes, or give me a thumbs up. Let me know I'm talking to you. And you gotta decide. I want it to be different. What am I going to do different? It's critical. It's a critical factor. Yeah. You have to decide. You have to want to be more. You have to want to leave a legacy for your family. If you don't want responsible, respectful kids, you'll never have a plan to create responsible, respectful kids. You want to have a rewarding career, but you don't do anything to make a difference in it. You have to want to make a difference. Darlene, yeah, for sure. Megan, yeah. Carl, yeah. Carlos, yeah. Barbara, yeah. Travis, yeah. Disciple Kickback. Come on, I know who that is. Steve, not tricking me. Gamma, yeah. Aaron, yeah, and everything. We all want to be doing better. That's why we attend a seminar like this. That's why we take time to keep learning and growing. If you want tomorrow to be different than today, you got to learn something today that'll make tomorrow different. So you got to commit your plans. Listen, I remember years ago going to a conference, and a guy by the name of Bob Harrison, he was teaching, and he was teaching on the value of time. Now, I love to teach on that myself. Now, I learned a lot. Time is all you've got, right? Time is every country has a currency. Earth has a currency, right? Just like America has the dollar and England has the pound. Heaven has a currency. Faith, anything you need from heaven you receive by faith. The currency of earth is time. How you invest your time. And this guy was teaching on time, and man, he told us about some resources that he had in the back after the seminar was over. And I went back there, and man, that was so good. And he had a whole coaching program on time. I said, I got to get that. But then I noticed all these other ones on mindset and all these other ones, and I said, man, I got to get all of it. I got to get all. They go, well, we can give you a deal on all of it. And it was a couple $1,000s worth of stuff for all of it. And they put it in this box called the School of Increase. I think they got a picture of it. You got to see this. Look at that. That's an old box. This is back when there was tapes and VHS and stuff like that. And I got it all in this big box. And they gave me a deal on it. It's about $700. Now I got to tell you, at that time, $700 was a lot of money to me. I mean, my wife and I combined made $500 a week. And here's this box for $700. And I told my wife, I said, I want to get it. See, the greatest investment you'll ever make is the investment you make in yourself. The greatest investment you'll ever make is the investment you make in yourself. And my wife said, that's a lie. You think it's worth it? I said, you know what? I think we're worth it. I think we are worth investing in, because if we can change our thinking, we could change our life. If we could change the way we do things. If you want tomorrow to be different than today, you got to learn something today that will make tomorrow different. I said, there's got to be something in here that I don't know. If you're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing, everyone said, I'd like to be doing better than I'm doing. in some area of your life. If you're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing, it just means there's something you don't know. Boy, when I heard that, I went from being a know-it-all to being a learn-it-all. And I ran back. I said, I want it. I want the box. I want everything. And I bought the whole thing. And man, I got a lot of good stuff out of that. Boy, I got a lot of good information. I listened to those tapes and read the books, and it's a big part of why I am who I am today. And now, my goodness, I got 4,000 books. I got thousands of books at my office here, thousands of books at my house, CDs and tapes and coaching programs. Every year, I invest tens of thousands of dollars in myself to make myself better than I was the year before. And so I created a resource, and it really inspired me because, I got a few minutes with you here that I can talk to you. But as I listened to all those tapes and CDs, and it was weeks and weeks of stuff, I got an idea. The billionaire Ross Perot said it just takes one good idea to live like a king the rest of your life. Just one good idea. And I got one idea. Listen, I paid $700 for that whole thing. Fortunately, we were able to break it down into 3 payments. And so I was able to pay it off in 3 payments. And I made the investment because, like I said, it was more than a week's income. And I got it. But that one idea that I got, I put the idea together. I ended up selling the idea. And within about 8 months, it produced me a little over $300,000. That's not a bad idea. You'd probably be happier if it was your idea. Some of you are sitting there going, "Oh, that's great, 300,000." You'd be happy if you had a $50,000 idea right now. Some of y'all just hope you have an idea. My God, I hope I think of something before I die. So it really inspired me because I saw how I got an hour or two listening to Mr. Harrison, but then I got this box, and now I've got weeks and weeks of listening and learning and growing and hearing over and over again. And so it inspired me to begin to create resources, as a coach. I want to help people get from where they are to where they want to be. I want to help you develop a map. That's what a good coach does. And so for those of you that are like me, that understand that you're seeing the importance of a plan, you've seen that today, I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to talk to you at the end of 2025, and you say, "Man, Dr. Dave, I tell you what, that was a good investment. That night that we got on the webinar together, that night I made a decision to develop a plan, to get my plan together." I asked some friends of mine that are great planners. A friend of mine, Lee Cockrell, he ran Disney World, all 4 parks, 18-something resorts at the time, 200-something restaurants. He ran the whole thing. He knows a little bit of something about planning and decision making. And I said, "Can you help me? I got some friends. I want to help them develop a plan. Would you come and help me?" I've got Amy K. Hutchins, who trains all the top executives for Google, Zappos, Simon T. Bailey, that used to be the head of the Disney Institute, Joel Osteen, who's one of the most positive guys. You talk about a good attitude. I said, I need someone that can talk to my friends about their attitude. And so what I did was I developed a 30-day game plan. And that's what the game plan is. That's where it's all started. And I said, everyone needs a written plan, but I know it's hard, and I know doing it yourself can be hard. So I said, how can I walk alongside some people and help them develop their plan? And so I created the game plan, and it's a 30-day plan. It kind of shows you each morning. We'll take a few minutes together, maybe 10 minutes, to give some thought-provoking, mind-shifting thoughts. And so each day I have some different coaches. One day you wake up in the morning, I'll be there waiting for you, and I'll have Lee Cockrell from Disney World with me. One morning you wake up and Pat Williams from the Senior Vice President of the Orlando Magic, some great coaches that will be with me, and we're going to walk you through how to develop a plan. You'll get written worksheets every day, and you'll take those worksheets, you'll fill them out, you'll answer the questions, we'll watch the video. We'll do all this together. At the end of the 30 days, you'll put it all together, and you'll actually have a written plan of what to do next. It's one of my favorite resources that I've created. I mean, if this isn't for everybody, listen, this isn't for everybody. But if you're ready to turn your dreams into reality, then this might be for you. I mean, if you're ready, if you want to start a business, if you want to lose some weight, maybe you have an existing business you've been wanting to franchise, I'm here to help you achieve your goals. And in just 30 days, I'm telling you, this is a transformative program that we put together with a step-by-step guide to really help you develop this actionable plan of what you can do. And with, I said, like practical worksheets and all that kind of thing. So you get the daily inspiration and guidance. You saw the picture of it just a minute ago. You get the practical worksheets. I mean, imagine this. There it is right there. Okay. It normally is $297. If you go to the website, it's going to be, I think that's even a website special. I think it's even more than that usually, but I think on the website right now, it's $297. But here at the end of the year, I want to help you as we get moving into the first of the new year. So I said, look, can we make a special for this? Instead of $297, let's make it half price. I want to get as many people as I can to join me for the next 30 days, and let's develop this plan. Let's get focused. No more guessing. No more procrastination. An achievable roadmap to success. It's not just another program. Listen, this is a blueprint. I'm working on a building right now, and I've been looking at blueprints, and there's pages and pages of the blueprint. But when it all comes together, the building becomes a reality. Well, this blueprint is going to help your dreams become a reality. Now, wait. I told you they're going to do it for half price. So for $147, I can't believe we're going to do this for $147. I'm going to tell you how to get it in just 1 second. But listen, before I do that, there's always a couple people like me. I went back to that table at Bob Harrison's to get the coaching program on time management, on time, the value of time. That's what he was talking about. And then I saw it all, and I said, I got to have everything. You know, I got to know it all. So I'm going to make you. This is just an incredible opportunity right now. I put together something called Success Made Simple. So I kind of took the idea from Bob, and I took 6 of our top coaching programs. So the game plan, which I've been talking about tonight, which you can get if you just want the game plan for $147. Or look at this, Success Made Simple. Here's 6 of our top programs. You'll see on the far right is the game plan. So what I just talked to you about, you're going to get the game plan. Now, you see that price. Don't worry about that price. We're going to get rid of that in just a second here. The game plan, the far right, which we'll be talking about all night, that's the book, the workbook, the videos, all that 30-day program. And then on the far left-hand side is Make That, Break That. A good friend of mine, Ed Milet. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ed. He told me the other day he read this book. He said, I couldn't put it down. I just wanted it to keep going and going. It was so inspiring and so practical of how to develop habits. What you do daily, your daily routine determines where you're going to end up. And so this is a whole program on understanding the habit loop, how habits develop, how to break bad habits, how to make new habits. And the best way to get rid of a bad habit, when you get rid of something, I was redoing a room in my house, and we took down some light fixtures, some old light fixtures. Well, we didn't leave a hole where the old stuff was. We put up some new, more efficient, more economic, and more in style light fixtures. So when you get rid of the bad habit, you've got to replace it with something new. And that's where we make that and break that. And so that whole program is 8 videos, workbooks, and all that. Then my favorite one is called Mindset. Well, no, this isn't my favorite one, but it's one of my good. It's a good one. Mindset Matters. That's there. But just the one in the middle there, 12 Traits of the Greats. It's worth the whole thing just for this. It's a 12-week program. What's that, about 90 days? A 90-day program. I took thousands of hours and I studied great achievers. What made them great? And I put the 12 traits into this book with videos and workbooks, and you'll walk through the 12 traits of the greats. Then you'll see miracles, favor, all those together. It's $14.97. But remember I told you the original price of just the game plan. If you go to the website and try to buy the game plan, it's $297 just for the game plan by itself. I'm going to give you the downloadables of all 6 of these programs. Success Made Simple, normally $14.97. Tonight, for $297 for the price of just the game plan by itself. You can get the entire thing for $297. They got, there it is right there. So special offer tonight. All 6 programs. That's 6 books, 6 workbooks, over 72 videos. All that put together. The ebooks, the audio books. So I'll read the books to you. I mean, that's pretty much worth $297 to get me to read 6 books to you. So all those are available. They're putting a link right now in the chat there. You see that? Look at that. TJ said, make that, break that, change my life. Yeah. I mean, if you understand, the greatest investment you'll ever make is the investment you make in yourself, right? So you're worth it. Yeah, you're worth it. Invest in you. You talk about it. Why not buy yourself a Christmas present? I saw today the average, the parents spend an average of $400 and something per kid at Christmas time. $400 per kid. I mean, at least you could invest $297 in yourself today. Maybe that'd be a good present for somebody you know. Maybe you want to get a couple of them. Get one for a coworker. I had a guy the other day, bought 5 of them, and one for him and his 4 different managers of his business. He bought one for each of them. So you can get just the game plan. When you click that link that's there, you can get just the game plan for $147 if you want that, or for the regular price. That's half price of the game plan. But for the regular price of $297, you can get all 6. Come on, someone needs to be typing, thank you, Dr. Dave. You are so kind. Thank you. I should wear a mask when I make this offer because you should wear a mask, actually, because you're robbing me. I'm giving you such a good deal. It's like you're robbing me. No, seriously, though. I put this together, and I believe it could really change 2025 for you. Start with the game plan. Let's get that plan together, and then we'll continue. Having a growth mindset. I love people with a growth mindset. Obviously, you have one. That's why you're here with me tonight. That's why you've invested this time. And it's 8 o'clock. Look, I'm right at my 1 hour. I told you we'd be about an hour of time together. So you'll see again the stream, the web, whatever you call that thing, a link. That's what you call that thing, a link. You'll see the link in the chat. Click that. You'll have a choice of either the game plan or you can get the entire Success Made Simple for just $297. So I encourage you. Let's start crafting a game plan together. Let me coach you. I'm excited. We're starting the podcast coming back in January strong, and you get these programs. Connect with us on the podcast, the show. I'm telling you, I want to be your coach this year. I want to be your mentor. You're not going to get far without a good coach. You're not going to get far without a mentor, someone that sees more in you than you see in yourself. And so let's go on this journey together. That's what a good coach does. It helps you develop a plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be. So let's go together. Let's spend some time together. Again, the link is right there. Jump in. The game plan, everybody needs the game plan. But if you can, for the normal price of just the game plan, you can get Mindset Matters, the 12 Traits of the Greats. That by itself is $997. If you go to the website, just the 12 Traits program is $997. You're going to get the entire thing with the 5 other programs for $2. I can't even believe that that's what we're doing. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about helping you. So let's do this together. Let me coach you. Let me help you make the rest of your life the best of your life. That's what I want to do. So the website's there. Make sure you click on that. Oh, yes, I am giving you a free book. I told you if you stay with me to the end, I'm going to give you a book called Passion. A lot of people don't know why they're here. Why am I here? There's questions that we ask. In this ebook right here, I'm going to ask you a few questions to ask yourself. will help you discover your passion, discover your purpose. And so it's my gift for you for staying with me. Whether you buy the game plan or the Success Made Simple, if you'll email the word passion to media@davemartin.org, just email the word passion, media@davemartin.org. Great, Carlos. Awesome. Man, I can't wait to spend the next 30 days with you developing a game plan, and hopefully the next few months with you as we go through the Success Made Simple together. So yeah, email that and we'll send you the book Passion. It'll be a really inspiring. It's not a long book. It'll be very inspiring, and add it to your Christmas list. Awesome, Heather. Good. Well, thank you again for joining me today. And they're going to send you an email again with these links. If you didn't get a chance, they'll send it to you. You can click on there and jump in this plan with us. Thank you again for joining me today. Tell me one thing before we get off here, before we hang up. If you got to go, we're done. But I always like to know what people got out of it. We will thrive in 25. Yes. Tell me one key, one statement, one thing that stood out to you. You said, Dave, that was what I needed to hear right there. That if that's all I got, it was worth it. This is the point. This is the principle. This is the key I got. Let me hear from 3 people, and then we're going to get off of here. I'm going to wait for you. I'll stay here all night. No, I won't, because it's not going to take that long. I know you got something. 3 people, real quick. Give me one thing. You said that one stood out to me. That one, you are worth the investment. Yeah, I mean, you got to realize that to begin with. You're worth it. I'm doing a podcast on self-confidence, self-worth. It's coming up in January, so be watching for that. Increase instead of decrease our lifestyle. Yeah, I love that. Planning eliminates worry. Boy, I hate to worry. I hate worrying. Cause your blood pressure to go up. Yeah. Oh, create before you consume. Yeah. That's definitely a good one. Got to create before you consume. Oh, that's my friend Pastor Terry. Love you, man. Good to see you on here. You're welcome. You're welcome, Terry. I got Terry Mahan and Terry Mann. We got 2. Yeah. Why not you? Invest in yourself. Good. Planning eliminates stress. There's another one. That's good. Fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yep. Good. You're worth it. Why not? Why? Why should I have a plan? Why not? Why not have a plan? Why not now? Why not make a plan right now? Why not you be the one that succeeds in 2025? Why not you be the one everyone says, how in the world, what did you do different this year than you did last year? I developed a plan. Hey, thank you guys so much for sharing that with me. I love you. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. I know God allowed our paths to cross for a reason. And let's make 2025 a great year. We're going to be alive in 25. We're going to thrive in 25. Don't get in a beehive in 25. We just, people come up with all kind of rhyming stuff, but we're not just going to survive in 25. We survived 2024. We're not going to survive. We're going to thrive, and I want to help you do it. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next year.